Patrice. She's in charge of time.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Board of Adjustments meeting for May 22nd, 2012 at 6 p.m. All right, you're going to do roll call. My name is Brad Walker, Chairman, Present. Mr. Jim Cecil, Vice Chairman.
Present.
Ms. Kathy Desadier.
Present.
Mr. Bill Lee.
Present.
Mr. Steve McGowan. Mr. Willie Robinson.
Present.
Mr. Mike Bro.
Present.
All right. Going to open it up for public comment period. If anybody has anything to say for or against the Board of Adjustments, please come forward. If you're here for a zoning review ID item, please save that for that ID. Okay. Nobody's coming up, so we're closing public hearing. Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the April 24th, 2002 meeting?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bill Lee, second by Mr. Jim Cecil. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Do I hear a motion for the acceptance of the written decisions from April 24th, 2012 meeting?
Make a motion.
All right.
Second.
All right. A motion by Mr. Jim Cecil, second by Mr. Willie Robinson. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We'll move to the first zoning review ID, number 2232.12, a 1.817 acre tract for Peter Kader, located on the west side of Swamp Road, approximately 400 feet north of railroad tracks, Kansas City Southern Railroad. Somebody here to speak on that item? Please come sign in. I think y'all just need to get some kind of bio thing. You put your thumb on it when you come up and sign.
Listen to high tech here.
Okay. Just tell us what you're trying to do and why is it a hardship, please.
Okay, what basically needs to be done is the 90-foot, because of the unique topography of the almost 2-acre tract, there's a big gully that runs in between, okay? And it's actually two hills on the properties. You can probably see. Do y'all have the, or do you have the description there at least?
Description.
I think all we have is this.
Right. Well, if at the 90-foot mark, it cuts into the hill on the house side of the hill and goes way past the natural drainage point, that gully that runs in between. In other words, it's just two rolling hills, the whole place, okay? And at 90 feet, it cuts way into the hill on the other hill and goes past the natural boundary that's already set there at around the 60-foot mark.
Any questions from the board?
So where is the house located? Well, it's on the larger, the 1.366 acres?
Yes, sir.
And near the 60-foot mark?
Well, at that, I'm trying to understand the question. Oh, yes, sir, it is.
There's nothing on this chart. So
Right, it is close to that 60-foot mark. In other words, it's two hills there.
Okay.
And if it went, as a matter of fact, if it went anything beyond 60, I mean, really, 55 would really follow the natural gully, in essence. But, since 60 seemed to be the magic number, but anything beyond 60 cuts into the hill that the house is on and will prevent any entrance or egress walking from the house to the road, because the house sits the hill there. If you walk off my front yard, you break your neck when you're on the road. You see what I'm saying? It's way up off the road. It falls sharply about 7 or 8 feet.
Okay. Thanks. A photograph would really help.
Oh, I understand. I apologize.
That's
So you're saying where the 60-foot is between the one you want to break off and your current one?
is a gully.
There's some kind of gully right there.
Right.
And so that's where you're cutting the 60-foot?
Well, actually, the gully's more like at around 55 would split it more evenly.
Okay.
But I thought maybe all I could request was 60, so I wasn't sure, 55 would be ideal, but I'd gladly take 60, okay?
But is it a usable 60 all the way to the back? From Swamp Road to front all the way to the back? Is it usable? Like, in other words, we're not allowing this split, and then nothing can be put on this .451 acres.
Oh, no, it's very usable. As a matter of fact, I even had the state sanitation people come out and they checked it, and made sure that a mechanical sewer system could be put in and there would be plenty of room for the effluent field, and got the blessing from Stephen Wider from the health department.
What's right next to this track that you're creating, like on the other side of this? I see it says track A on here, but it doesn't say what.
That's
Like,
just
you have your 1.36 acres. Then the
what's on the
0.451,
other
what's the
side?
next? Yeah.
Yes.
It's nobody lives there. That's
Is it
JFK
a lot
does.
house?
It's a trailer that hadn't been occupied in a long time that sits way in the back that's pretty much
Back.
rotted out. She moved to Reno, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. Hadn't seen her.
And you have a vacant track? Okay, never mind.
Okay.
It's just wooded, that's all.
Okay. Any more
So-
questions?
So the house is near. somewhere there.
All right, gonna open up for public hearing. Just have a seat.
Thank you.
Open up for public hearing. If anybody has anything for or against this variance, please come speak. All right, gonna close public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
Well, I guess I have a question of what you would even be able to put on a 60-foot wide lot there. What's the side yard setbacks on that, if we did do a lot there, Lance?
It would be 5 feet from the sides.
So that's gonna bring it down to 50-foot wide.
Right.
Then by the time you put in a driveway,
That,
well, I do have a question.
Come on back up.
Where approximately does your house sit on this 1.366 acres?
You want me to show you from here, or may I just show you
oh,
up
you
here?
can come up.
You can come up and just show us on that little triangle where the house actually is.
Okay. Here's Swamp Road, okay? And then the gully, actually between the two hills, it starts rolling over here, and then it comes down over here, and runs drainage here.
Gotcha.
The house is right here in the front,
Okay.
so that, in other words,
Excuse me, sir. Do it on that projector right there so we can all see. Yeah, if you're gonna
Yeah, and
point
just maybe put an X where the house actually is.
right there on that projector, and they'll project it up on the screen. There you go.
Okay, good.
the house is roughly here, okay? Well, actually, a little farther over. About like that.
So 90 feet wouldn't catch it.
In other words, so if a 90-foot had to be done, what happens is it will cut off any entrance and egress from the house property to the road. The natural drainage, the gully, runs pretty much here. Not that far over. Pretty much there. So all I'm doing really is trying to follow the natural topography.
Where's your driveway on that map?
Driveway to the house is right here.
Okay,
What?
so.
Okay, but even if you were on 90 feet on that map, hey, go back to that map. Okay, even if you're 90 feet on the actual where the 90 feet mark would be, how close is the 90 feet would be to the house? Would it be the 5 foot?
Real close. Real close.
Because I don't understand why you just don't give them the gully and then that way
At
you ain't got a problem.
90. Well, real close at 90 though, because then, in other words, you wouldn't have any entrance and egress from the house property to the road at all.
Well,
I
no,
thought the
I thought the
driveway
driveway's on the other
I
side.
said the driveway's in.
Well, I mean, on that side of the house is what I'm saying.
Well,
Okay, but now if somebody tries to build something on that other side and you only have 5 foot, you're gonna have about the same, is what I'm saying. Like from the 90-foot,
I should have brought a picture,
Yeah.
really. Because you just have to, I guess maybe you'd have to see it. But I'm really just following the natural topography there. That's 60 foot.
but you're following it where the gully is on your side or their side?
Actually, it's a split. It's
Down the
pretty
middle
much
of the
a
gully?
split. No, well, you can't dead center it, but it's close.
Well, my concern is we're gonna be creating another situation
Right.
where somebody's gonna have to come in here and try to get a variance.
they're gonna buy the lot.
And-
They're gonna be back to the same boat
Yeah,
again.
because-
What, are you going to build something on this, or are you selling this land?
Oh, sir, I want to sell it just for a single family dwelling, that's all.
Okay. Okay, so really, we're not. I agree with Ms. Desideer. We're
Yeah.
gonna really, this is gonna become a debacle.
It becomes, you know,
What-
Because
what's the
they're gonna have
problem?
to
Maybe I
have-
can maybe I can help if I understand what
Well,
the
the
problem
thing,
is.
what I'm saying is,
Well, at 90 feet, we wouldn't have an issue, right, Lance? 90 feet, he could split?
Yes, sir, that's the minimum requirement.
Okay, so 90 foot wouldn't have a problem, but even if we just come like 85 and get an extra 5, it's none of our concern what a person does with a gully, but I know a gully can be filled in on certain parts and things like that, and it can be changed, but at least the person's getting more property. So, to me, even if we come and you say 85 and we give you a 5-foot variance, but we don't know how close the house is to give you maybe 10 foot on the side of the house.
Well, then I'll have to just bring you a picture, I guess,
Yeah.
because it's close. It's just too close.
Yeah.
It really is. It's going to negatively affect the majority piece on the other side.
I mean, I think we understand what you're trying to do with the gully, but the problem is it's not enough land, and somebody could buy it and want to do something with that gully if they had the land. You know what I'm saying? But right now, it's so small, the only thing you can do is put a mobile home on it and make it
Right.
long
Well,
ways. and
actually,
it's
it's
ways.
pretty big. I mean, it's still about a half an acre.
Well, yeah, but it's long, and we're talking about, we got 5-foot variance on both sides. That's down to 50 feet.
Right.
You can only have
So-
50 foot wide. So, I don't know very many mobile homes that are even 50 foot wide where I can face the front. So you'd be facing long ways. So I
For
don't
sure,
know if it's
yeah.
that usable, even with a house, how would you build a house that
I-
long, you know?
Well, and your 50 feet
You need a
is gonna
driveway.
have to have a drive
Right.
somewhere,
Yeah.
unless you have a front carport facing.
well, to be honest.
There
with you,
is an existing drive there already. I put one there
on this,
a long time ago.
on the 60 foot.
On a 60.
Right.
I
Right.
would not be adverse to tabling this to next month if he wants to, for him to be able to bring us back pictures and some accurate measurements of how far it is from the
You know,
property line to his actual house.
Yeah, I mean, I would like
So
to see
we'll
the
know
actual
what the
house on
footage-
this engineered
footage is
drawing.
there.
well, the thing about it is, I'm gonna go with what, we're supposed, I don't see a hardship here. It's what I'm saying. I just
Right.
don't see a hardship here. Well, I see a guy wants to subdivide some land and, sell it, is basically what I see. Now, is that a hardship? No, it's not a hardship.
Well,
No.
he can subdivide it, and I don't want to stop him from subdividing it.
I'm not
But
saying
I
that.
want to make sure of why we're actually doing it. If he is in a situation where if he makes it 90 foot, that it's only going to be 5 foot away from his house. That's the whole thing to me, is I want to know where the house
Exactly.
actually is.
I just feel it's going to
with the
negatively
property line.
impact the larger piece the house is on if I go much farther.
Well,
But-
the problem is that if we agree to the 60-foot wide lot, we're going to have somebody come in as soon as they buy it and they're gonna have a hardship because there's no way they're gonna be able to put this house on there without us giving other variances. And that's what we want to prevent. We want to make sure that, number one, we're giving you a variance to do something that is gonna be conducive for a person to actually build upon it.
Right.
And to not negatively impact what we're putting on Swamp Road.
Right,
That's my
right.
feeling.
Right, right.
Is I want to make sure somebody's going to actually be able to come in there and put a house.
Well, I was gonna put a cottage on it at one time,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact. And, then the fellow was supposed to be moving it, and it turned out to be, a bad
Yeah.
deal. But I was gonna put a cottage up there to begin with.
The only thing I would say as opposed to moving it was, if y'all feel that you're not gonna allow the 60-foot, deny the 60-foot tonight, and then come back with another, he can come back, he just can't come back at 60-foot. Because that's what the variance is set for tonight.
Well, in respect to what Ms. Desider wants to do, she just wants to table it for a month.
I don't mind me.
And we can,
yeah, either
he
way,
can bring in
right.
better
Are you
pictures.
agreeable to tabling this motion for a month?
If need be, if
Okay,
need be.
because what I'm saying to you is virtually, is if you don't table it, we're probably going to deny you tonight.
Right.
So that's
what
your
I'm saying.
option.
So if that's the
you want to table
alternative,
it
sure.
and bring us more information
Sure.
in June,
Sure.
then we will all look at that, because right now, we're kind of not seeing that this other person shouldn't have the gully, at least to maybe build up part of that lot in order to have a usable space.
Okay. That's your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion by
To-
Ms. Kathy
to table.
Desider to table to
Right.
the month of June. And a second by Mr. Bill Lee. All those in favor?
So- Okay.
All right, thank you.
Photograph.
It'll be coming
Thank you
back
very
in
much.
June.
Thank you.
Get with Lance on the additional information that we need. Okay, next zoning review ID, 2223.12, Lot 31 of Maplewood Estate subdivision for Kobe Constructors, located on the south side of Misty Grove Court, approximately 200 feet east of Old Maplewood Drive. Is there here somebody representing that?
Yes, sir. Can I hand y'all, just hand y'all one of these, because this is on y'all packet.
We can, if you have enough, or we can share.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
32 to 31.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Billy Aguilar. I'm with Maplewood Development, and I'm representing Mr. Colby here, who's with Colby Construction. What basically happened here is Mr. Colby built a house on Lot 31, started to build a house on Lot 31. I didn't catch the plat plan. He pulled a permit from the parish. The parish issued him a permit, and lo and behold, after I finally caught it, and then he had a site survey done, and I think in your packet you see a survey of the house that was.
The original, yeah.
This is an actual survey of how the house was laid out, and he had actually had the house framed when I caught it. You can see that he's exceeded 10 foot past the building line and the sideline, and also intruded into the servitude. At this point, he has torn down all the framing on the house at the carport. We intend on sawing the carport off and jackhammer it out probably tomorrow. And what we're requesting is a 5-foot variance on the front setback from 25 to 20 foot. Actually, the only person that this would affect would be Lot 30. Lot 30 is owned by Eric and Mandy Martin. I just spoke to him this afternoon at 3:30 again for the 4th or 5th time. He has no objections to us moving the building line up to 20 foot. And actually, on his lot, there's a 15-foot building line. We can actually, without coming to y'all, grant him a variance to move up to 12 and a half feet, which we're gonna do, to let his house move up another 2.5 feet closer to the road too. If you look at the little thing I just gave you, I don't know how this mistake was made, but it was just an honest mistake. But if you look at the subdivision plat, if you look at Lot 31, it's different than if you look at Lot 23, and the house was laid out like it was on Lot 23, and I'm not saying it was Lot 23, but it was laid out like that, which doesn't have this little thing at the end of the T-turnaround. The T-turnaround on that one's at the end of the street. I don't know how he messed it up, but it's a mess up. It's gonna cost a guy about $20,000 to tear the carport out now. And if you had to move the whole house back an additional 5 feet to make it work correctly, to get a double carport in it, It'd cost him about $50,000 to tear the whole house out. So we just asked him to grant a variance of 5 feet on that front building line on that particular lot.
Okay, question for you is on lot 32, is our house right now on lot 32?
No, sir, we own lot 32 and 33. Maplewood Development still owns it.
Is there any lots on that? No. You
There's
said
no
you own
houses on that.
32, 33, there's nothing on
There's
those?
no houses on lot 33, 32, except the house on 31 that's under construction. There's no house on lot 30. We own all the other lots.
Because the problem that I think is happening with 31 is that something's got to be done on 32 and 33 so that they line up correctly looking down the street.
Well, I was gonna ask that, if we could move the building lines on all those lots up to 20 foot instead of 25 foot, but I was told if there's not a need, we couldn't ask for it, so we didn't ask for it.
It will be.
Yeah, I know there will be.
I mean, it really doesn't matter if they had 25 foot or 20 foot, it doesn't affect those lots at all. The only lot that it's really gonna impact is lot 30, and lot 30 is fine with it.
But lot 30 would have to be built, moved back anyway because it has,
Because of the T-turnaround,
T-turnaround.
correct, right. You see, and if you look at even lot 33, the side build line on 33, even on the main street, is 15 foot. Whereas, the house is gonna face Misty Grove anyways, which is 25 foot. But I mean, we found with a 25-foot building line there and there, all you can see is and it's gonna be hard to see the next house sticking out 5 feet in front of the other houses when you're that far down the road. I mean, that's 200 feet roughly from the corner, including servitudes.
so the variance on lot 31 you're looking for is from, it's a 5-foot variance?
Yes, sir, from 25 to 20 foot.
25 to 20.
Yeah, but that's pushing it back here, but what about the part of the corner he's going into on the T
The
turnaround?
whole side of the house is moving over. If you look at the next, it's in your packet also, the house has been redesigned, and if you look at this, we moved everything out of the servitude, and we moved it over 12 and a half feet from the property line, from that side property line, to miss all the servitudes. And what he's actually doing is cutting the 5-foot storage area off the front of the carport, and putting some storage area inside the little edge of the house right there at where the hatch line is on the house. To still give him a double carport.
Yes, that's fine.
That's easier to understand.
On the map for the new plat, that's labeled new plat at the top.
Yes, sir.
This one right here. There's something here that says 3'6". From what line is this one on the end down here?
That's 5'6".
Okay. Any other questions?
I don't have any questions.
All right, have a seat. We'll open it up for public hearing. Anybody here to say anything for or against this variance, please step forward.
There, Jim.
Last chance. Y'all just watching?
Shannon's one of the partners in Maplewood Development also. She's one of my partners.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, we just checking. Last time we went through the whole thing and the lady said, when do I get to speak? And that should have been the second one that speaks, so I'm just checking.
Go ahead.
All right, closing public hearing. Okay. Do I hear a variance?
I'm going to make the motion that we grant the 5-foot variance. But I do want to add this. Normally, we never do this for contractors because you need to do all this and make sure of things before you pour it. We've had other people have to take out the whole thing. So I think this time it was that you were led astray. But just so you'll know that this probably is going to be a one-time thing, so.
I second that motion. I think you've had enough. You need to go ahead and get that house built.
Do y'all not want to do 32 and 33 while we're here?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
I mean, if y'all can grant that, I'll ask that you do it, you know.
That's,
Okay.
I don't know, does.
It's not
do you
advertised.
do
Oh, y'all
that
didn't
when
advertise
you're-
that one?
oh,
Okay.
No.
All right.
I'm okay.
Oh, well.
okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, can we ask that, even though it's not a hardship, can we ask that
Well,
whole street be?
it kind of becomes a hardship later on.
Yeah, it would be later
Yes, it
on,
would
but
be.
could I ask that and use that as a hardship case that we granted this one to make all the houses line up on that street? Is that,
Yeah.
Well,
enough
on
hardship,
that
yeah.
side only.
On that
Just
side
right,
only.
just right.
We're
It's
not
just
gonna do
those
this.
lots.
okay.
Yeah.
Just those lots.
Can they come
All
back
right.
next month?
You have to go to Lance
Yeah.
and ask for another variance.
Okay.
I'll submit it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, got it. Motion by Ms. Kathy Desadier, second by Mr. Jim Cecil to approve as written. All those in favor?
All right.
Motion approves. Any old business?
Nope.
Lance, Patrice, any old business? Lindsay? Any new business? All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Jim Cecil, second by Mr. Willie Robinson. All those in favor to adjourn?
All right.
Motion adjourned.